All right, welcome back to part 4 of our combining like terms. We're going to look at a problem that has subtraction in it. So remember our exercise 5 we were working on. Write each of the following expressions in simplest form by combining like terms. Be careful with the subtraction problem. So we're actually going to look at one of those subtraction problems and why you need to be a little bit careful about them. So let's take a look at D. If I notice, I see a subtraction operation next to a parentheses with nothing in between. Now, generally when we see parentheses with a number in front of it, we're thinking distributive property, right? Now this doesn't have a number though, or at least not one that's visible, but actually in reality, there is an invisible one, or you can think of there being an invisible one right here. What that means is this -1 needs to be distributed to the two things that are on the inside of the parentheses. Okay. Similarly with E, same difference here. If you see this minus sign right next to a parentheses, that tells you that there's an invisible 1 here, and that 1 needs to be distributed. Okay. We need to get rid of parentheses before we can combine like terms. So this is the only way we're going to be able to do it. Distribute this -1 and then see if we can combine like terms. Now, this stuff I'm not using for my distributive property, so I'm bringing it down to the next step because obviously it doesn't go anywhere and I don't want to lose it. So 7x plus 8. Now I have my -1 times 4x, which gives me a -4x. And then I have -1 times a -2. Okay, I put my line there to clearly show that this is a -2, so don't get tripped up on those signs. -1 times -2 gives me a +2, so I have a +2 here. Okay, now that I've done that, I see I don't have any more parentheses, so now I'm looking to combine like terms. Real quickly, notice, whenever I distribute a negative here, all it really does is flip the signs of everything. This 4x now becomes a -4x. This -2 became a +2. So that's another way you can check your work. Okay, so now I'm going to use my vertical lines. Let's make that one a little bit longer. Okay, I'm going to underline the ones that have the x term. I'm going to write those down next to each other. So I've got 7x and a -4x. Then I am double underlining my constant terms. I'm going to place those next to each other. This is a +8 because it's positive. And this is also a +2 here because that's positive. Okay, now that my like terms are next to each other, it makes it easy to combine. I have 7x plus a -4x, or 7 minus 4 gives me a 3x. And then I have my +8 and +2 combined for a +10. Okay, that's positive. Okay, so my answer is now in standard form. It's as simplified as it gets, 3x plus 10, and that's my answer. So I want you guys to try E and F on your own on the next slides, and I will post this entire notes sheet completely filled out with all the answers after we do this assignment so that you can check your work. Okay, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.